Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Tidalwave Afterwork Podcast. My name is Marc Maurer, and this feels weird because normally you start this segment, but I'm Marc Maurer.
To break stuff.
Yeah, and this is my very good friend, Damiani.
Hello.
Welcome back, everyone. And we have a lot more cool questions.
Woo, we love questions.
Yeah, thanks for sending in questions. Keep them coming, and we will happily answer them and chat about them. And yeah. Okay, you wanna? Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So the first question is from somebody called Theo Ahmann. Hi, Theo.
Hi, Theo.
Theo is asking, do you consider using quantization, autotune, and sample replacement as cheating?
Yes. Next question, please.
Yes. Don't do it. Okay, what do you think?
No, it's to me they are tools. They are tools. When I record, let's take an example. I record a singer, and he's expressing something. I put focus on expression and attitude. I can fix tuning if necessary. Why should he have to redo a take over and over again because he didn't get that one note completely? So if I like the take and I like the energy and the vibe and the attitude and everything, then I keep it, and I know from experience if I can fix something or if it's unfixable and we need another take.
Yes.
So, but it's tools, and also moving drums a little bit. Why should you redo everything over and over again for what? If you can fix it and nobody will hear it and nobody cares, nobody gives a flying F about it.
Yes.
And I think if people would have to guess how much stuff has been done to the recordings we all love, they would be surprised if they actually knew how much stuff has been done.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Autotune?
I mean, to me, like my general answer to this question, because I have this topic so many times, like with other people, with musicians all the time, and in a way it really annoys me. And the reason for it is, I just don't think that there is anything like as cheating in music whatsoever. Because the point to me is, and I get it, I know where it comes from, but I think what I don't like in music is this competitiveness. You know, is that a word? I think so. Yeah. You know,
it's let's like make it one.
You know, it started with like drummers using triggers on the kick drum and like fast metal stuff, and then it's like it's cheating. But the thing is, I mean, maybe on an instrument, if you are two drummers and you want to discuss this, fine. But talking about music production and actually finishing a song so that a regular, normal person off the street can hit play and listen to the song, I absolutely don't care what you have to use to make it happen. It's art. It's about composition to me. So if you record a drummer that's a little sloppy and you have to edit him. And then if somebody goes like, well, but then what is he gonna do live? The thing is, that's none of my business. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
My job is, if somebody sends me something to mix or record or whatever, is to make the best out of it that I possibly can with all the tools available. So,
and nobody cares what those tools
are. And nobody
were.
cares. And also nobody wants to listen, especially nowadays. Nobody, like you said, nobody wants to listen to a song with like crappy drums and out of tune vocals. And then there's also this discussion, which is like this competitive thing. Like, I recorded a CD and I didn't use autotune. And then I'm like, does it sound good? It's like, who cares?
Yeah, the notes are false, but what did you win?
Yeah, you know, and there's all these like false discussions, because then people start to argue like, you know, I listen to a song and then I feel like, oh, the drums are a little sloppy. And then people will tell you, it's just feel. And I'm like, it's just
arguable.
It's just a very, very bad excuse for me to be like, why did you not either try to play it better or just edit it? It just sounds better.
Ego
cares.
comes into play. That's often the thing. I experience this sometimes. It's like that people don't want someone to fiddle around with the performance, but I have to respect it. I have had singers, they had me remove stuff, not even because there were artifacts, because I'm very very, very focused on really making it in a way that nobody will ever
that
hear
sounds
it.
still natural.
But he knew, and it was like he just simply out of, how do you say, aus Prinzip, out of. It was just a matter of, I just don't want it. It's not that it sounded bad or it didn't even take away anything, but he just didn't want it. It was an ego thing. I respect it, but to me it's like, if you need a hammer, take a hammer. If you need a pair of pliers, take a pair of pliers and go for it. Theo, cheat all you want because everyone is doing it and it's fine.
It's fine.
Thank you. We're back.
We're back.
Hello.
Hello.
Who has another question for us?
We have another question from Paul Goethe.
Hello, Paul.
Hello. And Paul wants to know, why does everyone recommend to use saturation while mixing? Good question.
Saturation is our friend.
It is, but
It is.
why?
Why? Okay, let me pull out my favorite image of what saturation means to me. Imagine you have a barrel, an empty barrel, and you want to fill it, and you have like rocks, and you put the rocks inside. This is like your instruments that you throw in your space.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of voids. There are a lot of voids in between the rocks, and saturation for me is everything you fill in between these rocks. It's like smaller rocks and gravel and sand, and you compact the whole thing. So now imagine you have an instrument, let's say a guitar or something, and it has a certain harmonic content, and it sounds nice, but you want it to be perceived as louder or denser or richer in sound. And now the guitar is the big rock, and the saturation is all the fine stuff that you put in between, because you're adding with saturation, which is distortion, basically, you are adding harmonics. So if you feed a sine wave tone into something that is going to give you some distortion, saturation, you will see that there are more tones coming up that have not been there before. These are called the harmonics. You have all the harmonics, even harmonics, and all that kind of stuff. And they are just filling up the acoustic space and giving you density and thus loudness and compactness.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's why people love old analog consoles and stuff, because you drove the signals hot into the console and everything was saturating a little bit and getting denser and fat and analog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great analogy.
So, do we love saturation?
Yes.
We love saturation.
We love saturation.
Thank you for the great question.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome back.
Hello.
All right.
We're back. We had a little laugh.
Yes.
But now we are serious again.
Yes, very serious.
Serious.
Okay.
Give me a serious question. Please.
Okay, a very serious question from Philip Breuer.
Philip Breuer.
Hello.
Hello, Philip.
Philip wants to know, if a band in a classical lineup approaches you in order to record and mix an album of standard duration, for example 10 songs, 40 minutes, how do you estimate the amount of time probably needed to do so?
It's always 2 days.
Always.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then if it takes longer, then the musicians suck.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question, Philip? No.
Thanks.
Okay. Now let's be serious. It's it depends. This is a favorite answer.
We could answer any question with it depends.
Did I already work with those musicians or not?
Yes.
If I already worked with them, then I know how good the drummer is. I know how good the bassist is. I know where we have problems and how long it might take. So that helps. If I don't know the musicians, if we have never worked together, then communication is again the key. So I will ask them, what do you think? How long will you take? Did you ever record before in a studio? If they have experience, let's base upon the experience that you have. How long did it take you last time? Did you get everything done in the time that you set yourself? If they don't have any experience, everyone has a first visit at the studio at some point, then it's like, okay, try to estimate and be honest with yourself. How good are you at your instrument? How long do you think does it take you to play what you want to hear on the CD later?
Just a little tip maybe for if you don't have any experience going to the studio and you would ask the artist like what do you think? How long does it take
5 minutes. The song is only 4 minutes long, so 5 minutes is enough, right?
Yeah, I mean that would be a very good situation. No, but I just wanted to point out that if you don't have the tools or the knowledge to do a full like demo or pre-production, it doesn't take much. The thing is, you have to be honest with yourself and just think about your own instrument. When you are the guitar player and you know, let's say in the example of one song, you know your parts, just record on your phone. It doesn't matter because it's about the performance. The all the other stuff is going to be worked out with the engineer in the studio, but you have to just play your parts. So just set up your phone, record yourself, play the song all the way through to a drum track or a click track or whatever.
And check for yourself. The recording is not going to lie.
Hit play and be like, is that performance-wise enough?
Of course, then there is all the setup and the technical stuff, like setting up microphones and stuff. So I say, okay, set up a drum set and mic it up and make a sound check. It's like half a day or something. It depends. If it's very small set, maybe you're done in an hour or two. Set up a mic for vocals is a little bit quicker. But the performance has to be estimated, guesstimated. What I like to do is just a last little thing is like, usually it's like, okay, I think we are going to make it in 7 days. Let's just put a number. Let's keep some worst case scenario air. So that is like, if we would take 10 days, then it would be fine for everyone, budget wise and for my schedule and everything. I say, okay, let's aim for 7. If it's 10, it's fine. Most of the time it will be 8 then or 9. Because if you have the time, you will use it. But the psychological effect of having headroom is that usually people are more relaxed. They are not running against the clock, and they will be faster, although they theoretically have more time. Absolutely. which is a thing that I like to really use. And I always say like, hey, I'm working 6 days a week, and if at some point I have 1 day off more than I planned, I'm not going to sit in a corner and cry. So that's fine. So aim for a little bit more, also aim for a number and leave some headroom for unexpected, and you will be good to go. Now, mixing wise, how do you approach mix a song? Hello, I have a song. How long does it take? How much is the fish?
I would usually say, I mean, again,
it depends.
It depends.
Is it one acoustic guitar and a vocal? But a complete. He was asking specifically about a complete song, drums, bass, 2 guitars, a classic lineup. So we don't talk about with a 50-piece orchestra on top.
I would still probably, even though for the most part I would say I could get more stuff done, but I would estimate a song a day. Is a good way to start, because also that leaves me a little bit of space, and also is good budgeting wise for the artist. If you have more songs to mix, then you might do actually 2 songs on a day, but then you have the third one and it's kind of a one, and you're beating your head against the wall because something's difficult and you have to work harder or something. So I would say 1 day per mix is good.
When I started out, I recorded complete albums in 1 weekend, inclusive mix. It was like 2 shifts of 16 hours, was like 16-hour recording, and then like a mix marathon, a whole album in 1 day. I've done this, I cannot count how many times. But the result is, you can imagine how it sounded. It was okay, but it was not great. So the thing is, if you say, today I have this song on my desk, and you can fully focus on this and also have like a little coffee break, clean your ears and clean your mind, and you know that, okay, it's not like in 3 hours I need to be starting the next song. The same thing as for the musicians with the recording. It's like we are making a creative act ourselves. I consider mixing a song, it's a creative process.
Absolutely.
And it's exhausting me, and I don't want to make more than 1 song per day. Maybe do some prep work for the next song, maybe clean up some drums or something. But I will not start to mix a second song. But it's just like I put everything I had in my inner self into that one song, and then it's enough for today.
What people might not consider, especially when you're only mixing a song, is that it's, I mean, obviously it's physical, it's your ears, it's your concentration, all that kind of stuff, but there's also like an emotional part to it for me.
Yes.
Because that's all there is for me. I want to be, when I'm finished with the mix, I want it to feel extremely good. And also that means that I have to go through those points in the song. If there's like a transition that is important, maybe sonically it's already in the ballpark.
Yeah, but then the real game
begins. You're like, I have to get this automation right, or that reverb tail into that next part, and that stuff. I mean, it's like when you're having a long conversation with a good friend and you had a great night talking to him, but it's emotionally exhausting.
You don't go to the next friend and start all that process again on the same day. You also need the time to figure out if it's done or not. It's if you are in a rush. If you are in a rush, then you just need. It's an art, and every art needs the time it needs to develop itself. And when it's done, it's done. But usually, if you say like a day a song, then we are in the ballpark.
Yes.
Philip. We are back.
I never left. Okay, we're back. He's right, we're back. I'm sorry. Anyways.
I'm back. Okay, what do we have?
We have another question from our dear friend, you guessed it, Nikos.
Nikos. Yeah, he sent in a bunch of really great questions.
Yeah.
So,
what's up, Nikos?
Nikos.
All right.
What does he want to know now?
Nikos wants to know, or it's actually not a question, it's name one plugin that you use more frequently than any other and why.
Okay. Desert Island plugin, FabFilter Pro Q3, my go-to EQ plugin. It's basically on every track.
Yeah.
What's your favorite plugin that you use all the time?
I probably would have said the same thing, but just for the sake of it, so we have
being something different.
Yeah, I want to. No, but maybe then
you don't want to copy
you get
me.
more out of the question. Maybe
I guess this may be Pro Q3 maybe the first answer from 80% of all the.
I guess so. Yeah,
people working in the box. Yeah.
But I would say a plugin that I'm using a lot more is also by FabFilter is the Saturn distortion plugin. Because it's also very much a Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
There's so many applications you can use it in very creative and cool ways and get a lot of stuff done within one plugin. I feel for myself sometimes because I'm like,
you can even use it as EQ. You can use it with the modulation section.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
You also have this dynamic knob, and that's like sometimes it's like sometimes you just listen to something and I have like 3 things in my mind I want to do to it, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think I can.
Absolutely, the dynamic knob in Saturn is Saturn 2. I don't know if Saturn 1 had it. Sometimes I think I need some compression, and I just pull up Saturn 2 and I just use the dynamic knob, reduce it because the way it's compressing, it's just great. It just works. Yeah. Okay. I augment the question and I make like a quick thing.
Okay.
What's your favorite reverb plugin? Quick.
Probably the what is it called? The FabFilter one, but
R Pro
R, I think. But the thing is, it's a longer answer. But I always do. I
can do everything.
Yeah, I add like tons of plugins to my reverbs and create like.
But that's for another question. What's your favorite compressor? Most used, not favorite. Most used compressor.
Most used, probably the CLA 76.
Okay. What's your most used plugin on Master Bus?
Saturn again.
Really? On the Master Bus?
Yes.
I've never used it on the Master Bus.
I have it there all the time.
I have 10 different plugins, 10 different sections on the master bus all the time. It's completely full. If I had maybe 15 slots, there would be 15 on them. But I never use that, and I have to try it.
Because the other things change more. But this is something that almost on everything I do, it is on there.
Then I'm done. I just wanted to know and expand a little bit through different sections. Yeah. Okay. Pro Q3.
That was...
Thank you, Nikos.
Thanks, Nikos. Okay, we have one more question from, I'm hoping I'm not butchering this name, Amar Ben Rita? Amar?
Amar. Hello, Amar.
Hey, what's up? The question is, okay, what was your biggest mistake that happened during work?
Confession time. Do you want to start? Since this is the last question, we are going to leave with a big confession and sit here as complete amateurs, and nobody is ever going to watch this ever again. Okay, let me start. I make a confession. I instantly know what I majorly fucked up.
Okay.
It was back in the days when hard drive space was expensive, and stuff like backups were not... You know, when I started, we had like one hard drive that had 4 gigabytes. That was the hard drive. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you wanted backups, you had to split up your stuff so that it would fit on a CD.
Yeah.
So it's like you have a session that has a 900 megabyte. It would not fit on a CD, so you had to split up the audio files and burn the CD and check the CD and... you didn't do this every day. So obviously one day I just didn't make a backup, and when I came back, there was no more music there, and I had to call the guys. It's like we recorded a complete weekend, and it was just gone. So, but fortunately, I must say it had a happy end. The whole thing, I completely fucked up, and I lost their music, but. It was not the first time I recorded with the guys. They always made like a weekend session, and we gathered songs for a complete album. So we did always 1 or 2 songs, and just until the CD, the album was full. So we lost basically 2 songs or something. And I called the guys like, the confession to make, I lost them. They said, okay, don't worry. And I said, okay, what are you doing next weekend? They said, okay, let's redo it. And the session was much better. It was like as if we had a pre-production, and we just redid everything, and it was so much better. So I lost a little bit of time. I gained a big experience. I made my backups from then on, and everything turned out well. But I lost the complete recording.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is truly, I think, the most terrible thing you can think of. Because that was also my first go-to, was thinking about like, maybe like backups or not doing backups or accidentally like whatever, deleting something.
It happens.
Or, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
We are all humans, and it just happens.
Yeah.
But do you have something maybe more not so boring as, I lost the session?
I don't I can't really think of like a mistake in that sense. Like not in the way of like I made this one big mistake, but more like a general mistake. I mean, I don't know if this really fits the question, but I would say that starting out mixing, my biggest mistake out of insecurity, and this is a standard thing, but I'm still gonna bring it up, is sending mixes to somebody that are not finished and explaining it in the email or whatever you're doing.
That's the 101 of mix engineers. First thing that you should never ever do.
Yeah, it's the worst thing you can do.
Here is the mix. I know the snare is crap, and I know the bass drum is too loud, but maybe you just listen around this and what the hell do you think the musician is going? He's going to listen to the snare first, to the bass drum second, and he's going to hate it. And you. And then he's never going to come back.
Yeah.
Never ever send out stuff that's not finished.
Yeah. And when it's finished, also don't explain anything about it.
Just send it out.
It's the to give another analogy to something.
Oh, really?
It's to me, it's the same thing as with jokes.
Oh, if you have to explain the joke.
Don't tell a joke and explain it. Everybody knows this. And just think about the same way about a finished production. If you send it, just shut your mouth and be like, there's the mix. Hope you like it.
Maybe second worst is send out 3 different versions of the...
Oh my God. I think that's something I probably did, but blocked out. And
yeah, okay, but you start out, but this is like learning by doing. You do it, and then you see that it's just terrible, because you will then have to do 5 more different versions, and
that's it.
So, but you didn't lose the complete production.
No.
Oh, so okay, so good moment to wrap it up before we get lost somewhere. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you have questions, please send them in, comment under the video, so that we can have fresh and good and new interesting questions to answer. Thank you, and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.